thrilled the Leafs won and that OT winner was amazing, but what did the Blues do to Willie? Did you see every moment of that overtime leading up to the goal? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, they definitely deserved it. Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion! That's just a nightmare! With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Leafs win! 3-2 in overtime over the St. Louis Blues! This guy's reacting to the Leafs beating the Blues. Did you see the team the Leafs put on the ice tonight? You know what? No, I have a game. I'm going to show you the entire Leafs starting lineup from this game, but I'm only going to change one name. And you have to tell me which one's made up. There it is. There it is right there. Go on. Go on. Have a look. I'll give you till the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you guess? None of them are made up! Wait, I'm so worked up I realized I forgot something. And also I'm out of practice on account of they lost 5 straight games heading into this one. Victory, puppy! For every Leafs win, wait, did I even adjust the camera? I did. For every Leafs win, that is, what did I... $20 to the Humane Society of Durham Region. Sorry, I had forgotten. Here, let me use the early part of this video to promote 2 things, okay? Just 2. Here, no, I gotta use this opportunity because everyone's watching, right? 115,000 people are gonna watch this video, right? Oh wait, no! That was last video because they lost! Dude, I had 2 regular season LFRs hit 90,000 views on YouTube all last regular season. I had 3 videos hit 90,000 or more on this losing streak. Now everyone wants to honk the sad clown's nose. But what about when the sad clown is a happy clown with a stupid mustache? Well, what if I told you that stupid mustache is for a great cause? Movember! I'm raising money for Movember. Look at my face. You thought this was on purpose? No. I'm like, you know what? I value men's health more than I value my own face. Donate to the link in the description down below, and let's change the face a bit. I can't even twirl it! Here, it's awful, right? It's so bad. Look at Adam. Have you seen Adam? That handlebar? Oh my God. Yeah, that's a guy excited to do it. Well, November's coming up, and he's like, yeah, oh, awesome. Can't wait. Oh, look at this. This fotch. You think this fotch wants to do Movember? I demand dinero for my face. And it doesn't go to me either. It goes to Movember. Anyway, link down below. The other thing I wanted to promote, the Oshawa Generals. Hey, they play a game this weekend. They play a game this Sunday. You know who's gonna be there? Me! And Adam Wilde and Jesse Blake. SDPN's gonna be there. And then after we watch the Oshawa Generals play the Kitchener Rangers, we're gonna do a live podcast at Bond Street in Oshawa. And I am told that we are gonna have 2 guests from the Oshawa Generals. That's Hoshi Wang, who was selected in the 2nd round by the San Jose Sharks in June, and Sam Roberts. They both play for the Gens. So if you want to come to a hockey game, enjoy a fun live show, or just enjoy the bright lights of Schwallywood, click the link in the description down below. It's going to be a great night. We went there last year, and it was a blast! All right! That game, like the Leafs won against the Blues. The Blues are awful. The Leafs are, I think, a little more nuanced. They've certainly been awful. And look at this. 2 teams that almost accomplished something in the playoffs last year. The Leafs took the Florida Panthers to Game 7 in round 2. Does anyone feel good about that? No. The St. Louis Blues were a second away from knocking off the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets in Game 7 in Winnipeg. Does any Blue fan feel good about that? No! And now here we are, a few months later, with high hopes, and now we're drowning in the muck. One of these 2 teams has to win this game. They changed the rules a few years ago. There's no more ties. This game, 20 years ago, whatever it was would have been perfect for a tie. You know what I'm old enough to remember? Games where neither team deserved to win, and neither team did. But after 20 games, the St. Louis Blues are in third last place in the NHL, which is to say third last in the Western Conference. Oof. It is early, which means they're a hot week away from being in the playoff picture, ignoring the fact that most of the teams ahead of them have played fewer games. And the Leafs, meanwhile, won this hockey game and are still second last in the East. And you can maybe feel a little bit better about that because hilariously you are 4 points out of fourth. It's still early, which is why these points mean so much. There's a reason both teams basically stopped playing in the final few minutes of a tied third period. They needed it desperately, which is hilarious because less than 2 minutes into the game, William Nylander scored on his own net! There's a kerfuffle in front, the puck is floating in the air, and this was a little bit of karma from the other night against the Blackhawks when we're like, I'm pretty sure that was a high stick and the goal counted anyway. Because if William Nylander scored this goal on the other net, I don't think it would have counted! But it's okay, because Nylander scored it on his own net, so it's fine. Now, I'm not as mad about it now on account of he won the game in overtime with the holy smokinest goal I've ever seen. But can I get sidetracked for a second? This goal is listed as own. It's an own goal, which I feel like isn't as big a thing in hockey. It's obviously like a big thing in soccer. It's not good to score an own goal. It's where you score on your own goal. But this is called an own goal by Nathan Walker, his third of the season. Nope. Wrong. You got it wrong. Sorry, it can't be both. That makes no sense. It's an own goal, so you're signaling that the Leafs scored on their own goal, and then one of the Blues gets a free goal out of it? It says unassisted, but I don't know, why stop there? Just give all three of the last three Blues to touch the puck a point. Just do it. Nathan Walker didn't score this goal. The Leafs did. You know how I know that? You said they did. So why does he get a goal for it? He's an Alan Walsh client and the Leafs won, so I'll allow it. But no, he didn't. Anyway, luckily they didn't rip the roof off of the building because Jake McCabe scored only a handful of minutes later. Dakota Joshua with a great Daryl Boyce assist on this one, just mucking it up in front of the Blues net, and Jake McCabe puts a dart in the top corner. That's his third of the season. You know what? Give that one to Nathan Walker too. Why not? We're giving all goals put in the net by a Leaf to Nathan Walker. Why not? Why not? Why not? That's McCabe's third of the season, actually scored by Jake McCabe. And the Leafs have life. And geez, they have more than life. They dominated the Blues in the first period of this game, which is more than any of us expected, and I really don't care that it was against the Blues. Dude, I'm gonna once again draw your attention to this. Robertson, Tavares, Nylander. I can live with that. Actually, that was the second line like a week ago. McMahon, Domi, Cowan. I can live with that. That was like the third line like a week ago. Third line is Michelli, Quillen, Blais. Two of those guys have been healthy scratches, and Quillen just got called up. Joshua, Lawrence, Yarncroke. Hey, that's like actually the fourth line. Riley, Ekman, Larson, Benoit McCabe, Murmis, Stetcher. And in net, we have Joseph Woll with one of those cartoon white flags that just says help on it. I know the Blues are struggling to start this season, but so are the Leafs. And you're playing like half of them. Over $36 million worth of Leaf was in the press box tonight. Dude, missing from this game, Matthews, Nyes, Lawton, Tanev, Waugh, Carlo, Rafai, people forgot about, and Stolars. So that's a pretty good first period, considering the Leafs are in a really unenviable position. They're on home ice, that's the end of the good news. They're on a 5-game losing skid, and the only way to get out of it is with half your lineup. And honestly, the thing only got more impressive in the second. Halfway through the period, Oliver Ekman-Larsson sends a great pass up to the neutral zone to Sammy Blais. Sammy Blais takes it into the zone, waits for his opportunity, and fires a beauty over to Steven Lorentz. And I gotta say, in the last few days, we've talked about David Kampf and how He used to never score goals, but when he did score goals, for some reason, it was the sexiest thing you've ever seen. Yeah, no, we already have a guy who does that. His name's Steven Lorentz. I watched him windmill deke a guy live in person last year and snipe it. He rips a beauty glove save on Jordan Binnington, and the Leafs retake the lead! Wait, no. They took the lead. The Blues scored the first goal of this game, even though the Leafs scored the first goal of this game. In fact, to this point, the Leafs had scored all 3 goals in this game. In fact, the first goal that the Blues scored was just a few minutes later on the power play. I like watching Mike Johnson broadcasts a lot on TSN, but he's like, oh, that Dvorsky, he's a shooter. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's helpful info, but please stop saying it. And then he took, I think, 7 shots in the span of 3 seconds, including 1 bomb that went in. His 3rd of the season. Oh, wait, they gave it to Nathan Walker again. The Blues' first goal of the game. I wish it made it 3-1 Leafs, but it doesn't. It's 2-2. Now, the 3rd period was bad. The Blues were the better team. Like, pretty much from puck drop on. Joseph Woll had to make an absurd save on Jordan Kyrou, diving desperately. And can I just say, sometimes you gotta trick yourself. You know how, like, you watch The Last Dance with Michael Jordan and he would just fabricate beefs with people? Yeah, tonight I did that. It's a Tuesday night game between the Leafs and Blues and both teams are bad. I got mad at someone because I pretended they were my enemy for the evening. Jordan Kyrou. He almost scored a bunch of times, and I was glad every time he didn't. That's Steven Lorentz poke check, oof, Maroon. But he kept trying this windmill deke past everyone, and I was like, the next time he tries it, I want someone to put an elbow through his chest so hard that it smells like he had elbow pad Listerine. Can you imagine? And the Leafs survive, sort of, to overtime because the Blues were better for most of it. The Leafs kept taking penalties. Thanks for the puck over the glass, Matthias. But then the Blues decided, you know what, let's just get the point. And in overtime, Mike Johnston's like, oh, Kyrou, he's a burner. And I was like, oh, I wish you would stop. Oh, I hope he doesn't go 2 for 2. If he goes 2 for 2, I'm going to be quite cross. And the Blues, what the St. Louis Blues did in this overtime was offensive to hockey. It was offensive in how non-offensive it was. They did not try to do, like, anything. They just kept trying to suck the Leafs into a mistake. And to the Leafs' credit, they didn't make one. It just dragged and it dragged and it dragged. For 4 minutes they tried this. They turned the thing into a line change competition, which no one paid to see. And I don't care if you hate the Leafs, it was good for the health of hockey that the Blues lost that game. Because after a long shift, couple Leafs, they go off to change. Domi, I think, had been out there a long time. He goes off to change. John Tavares, he goes. And you know he's dog tired. He's been out there for heavens knows how long. And while the Leafs change behind him, he decides, I'm gonna go 1-on-3. Like Rorschach from Mad Men, he said, you don't seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in. Oh, I yelled myself into a hiccup. You're locked. Wait, you're locked in. I can't get the line out. You're locked in here. Now this ruins the whole bit. The bit was I was going to scream, you're locked in here with me, and then it was going to be like, but it's John Tavares, and he would say it, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. But now I can't do it because, anyway, John Tavares, I'm just going to gut out the rest of the video with hiccups. John Tavares is in a board battle against 3 Blues. Really, it was 2 Blues with 1 spectator, but don't let that get in the way of a good headline. Tavares kicks the puck to Riley, who, oh, you're here, who sends the puck to William Nylander after, let's be honest, kind of a ho-hum game. And that's if you ignore the own goal. And he just very calmly, with his larger and thicker than normal beard, decides, that's Dylan Holloway. And and he decides with his larger and thicker than normal beard, that's Dylan Holloway, and I'm gonna light him on fire. Whoop! On to the next. Around Jordan Binnington, stick handling in a phone booth, tucks it in. Ridiculous silly to end the game. Ends it in overtime. Ends the losing streak. And after the game, when talking about his own goal, he said, I don't know what I was thinking. It was a little bit reactionary, I think, but it was nice. to feel the back of the net early. History doesn't repeat itself. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Last year, the Leafs lose 3 straight, and he goes, it's 3 games. What's the big deal? Then they win 3 straight games, and he said, it's 3 games. What's the big deal? Oh, that's awesome. He has the worst start to a game imaginable. He's banging his stick on the glass. And when he's not doing that, he's not doing much. And that's the way the game ends. You'd like to believe that's the kind of win that can turn your whole season around. But if you're just living in realism, it needs to be a piece of the puzzle. But if you're being realistic, it needs to be a piece of the puzzle, a building block going forward. They still have a crazy amount of guys out. They can make a trade, they could claim someone off waivers, I don't know. But all the Leafs could handle was tonight. All that was on the line was 2 points. They got the 2 points. Now, I was gonna do questions, but I can't talk. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Donate to my Movember page. Come to the Oshawa Generals game. And hooray, Leafs go, Leafs go.